Welcome back to another EMC Monday Mastermind, we're Every Move Collective. Really excited to be here today. We're talking about how to really leverage your commercial partners to be, really more of a 360 real estate advisor to your residential clients. We've brought in commercial agent Paul Frank to talk with you about this topic. And before I go on to introduce him, just a little reminder for, those who have been here before, those who are new. Myself, my mom Eva on the call, Dylan, who's my brother. We run a top producing team out of Westchester County, New York, and Connecticut. Margaret here is one of the members of our team as well. We also run Every Move Collective, which is our organization at eXp Realty, which brings you these bi-monthly masterminds. We do these on the second and fourth Monday of every month. We always have a different guest talking about a different topic. It's meant to really foster learning, networking, community, and just really to be a space where we can come together and lift each other up and learn in this industry. So thank you all for being here. Hope you're having a good week. We encourage you to, really appreciate a lot of you having your cameras on. If you're able to turn your cameras on, keep it on. We want to see your beautiful faces and feel like we're in a room together. Feel free to use the chat, raise your hand and jump in. I actually think it would be really great. We often tend to do this, but if you can drop in the chat what your market is, that would be great, especially because with commercial real estate, it's so national. And so I'm sure it would be helpful for Paul to see, who we have in the room with us. And so Paul is a commercial real estate advisor, developer, contractor with over 40 years of experience in this industry. He's brokered millions of square foot of commercial deals across the US. He runs PDF, where he actually shows residential agents how to leverage referral-based strategies to really lean into having commercial being more part of your book of business without actually having to go and get a commercial license. So I'll let him introduce himself and then we'll dive in here. And again, feel free to chime in, ask questions in the chat, so on and so forth.
Super. Trish, you're out of Boulder? My daughter graduated there last year. Just dropped her off in Boston a couple weeks ago for nursing school.
Very cool.
Missed my time in Boulder. Got to spend a lot of time there. Let's
Well, now
see.
you could come visit me.
Yeah. When I share this PowerPoint, I will not be able to see your chat and stuff. So if somebody has a question, just interrupt me. I enjoy being interrupted, so don't hold on to it. And there are no dumb questions at all. If you do have a question, do not preface it with "this is probably a dumb question," because if I don't know the answer, then I am inherently dumb. So that's the only rule I have. Two rules: interrupt me and don't preface it with it being a dumb question. So with that said, I'm going to, I need to share, huh? Do I have?
You should have access to sharing your screen. Let me know if not.
And Dylan will monitor the chat as well. So
Okay.
if you guys do put something in there, he'll bring it up too.
There we go. Y'all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so gotta find my little button here. Again, my name is Paul Frank, and I'll explain that coach portion of it here in a second. And I am here to talk to you about lead recognition, how to double your lead generation overnight in commercial real estate.
I just want to pause you for 1 second because we can see like the next slide.
Oh,
maybe hit the little presentation button. And I mean, it doesn't really matter, but
are you seeing everything on the bottom?
Yeah. Yep. And we can see like what the next, perfect. That's better.
Really?
Yeah.
That's bizarre. Okay. Glad it worked.
Yeah.
So how's that?
Perfect.
Good.
Wow. I have multiple monitors, so never know what's going to show up.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to go over with you will seem exceedingly simple, as well as the QR code that I send you to another set of educational pieces. But what I can tell you is this absolutely works. As simple as it may seem, I promise you it has the potential to change your business and your life. And we see it happen literally every single day. So first question, who in here, although I can't see you, handles commercial real estate? Anybody speak up? Do we have anybody, Dylan?
I do. This
Yeah.
is Valerie.
Beautiful. So we got Valerie. Take note of Valerie. Who in here is a dedicated commercial agent and is not a realtor? And if you don't know why I'm asking that question, it is indicative. So who is a dedicated commercial agent and not a realtor? I know Federico and Amber will answer affirmatively. Beautiful.
You can't see it, but my hand was raised.
Ah, perfect. So for those of you that did not raise your hand or acknowledge that, that is the last time that you fail to answer that question without a yes. Moving forward, and write this down, anytime somebody asks you if you handle commercial real estate, the answer will be absolutely, we do. Absolutely, we do. So before I get started, I want to give you a little bit of my background. Colby gave you a little bit of it. I am the president, CEO of the PDF group of companies. I've been a commercial developer and broker for 40 years, as well as a contractor, which I don't usually tell people about. I've developed and brokered hundreds of millions of square feet of real estate, covering every product class throughout the United States and internationally. Aside from my professional experience, I've been an athlete and a coach most of my life. I've coached over 25 years at the youth, high school, and collegiate level. That's why you'll hear people refer to me as Coach or Coach Frank. It is not some title that I just put on my business card for marketing purposes. It was earned. Not that there's anything wrong with marketing yourself as a coach. I've also been a business coach and mentor for nearly as long. And that overall experience has given me what Coach Dungy refers to as an uncommon perspective. And that perspective has come through a lot of lessons, many of them very expensive lessons. In fact, write this quote down, which Colby and Eva and I went over. All education has a price tag. But there are a couple of lessons, actually truths, that I'd like to share with you all that are vitally important to everybody on this call. Two truths. First truth is that over my career, I have discovered that there is one thing that nearly every single person that I have ever dealt with in commercial real estate at any level, any capacity, has in common. And that is that they live in a house. And by virtue of that commonality, there is something else that they have in common. And that is truth number two, that they have a relationship with you. They have a relationship with a residential realtor. And if you think this doesn't apply to you, you are absolutely wrong. I don't care if you've been in the business for 2 days or 50 years, as we'll see in a few minutes. Every single one of you has commercial opportunities in your network. Now, the problem is that traditionally, y'all have blinders on. You are focused on finding or selling that home for your client, and you know what I refer to as peripheral deal vision. It is as if you're looking at that target through a scope of a rifle and you can't see anything else. So it's my hope that I can help you remove those blinders and take advantage of the opportunities that are around you literally every single day. So write this one down. Commercial real estate is not more complicated. It is just different. Despite what the egos in this business will try to convince you of, commercial real estate is not more complicated. In fact, I'm confident that every one of you is capable of sourcing and completing a commercial transaction. I'm even more confident that I would be in way more trouble trying to handle a residential deal. There is a reason that I have never sold a house in my life, but it is not because it's more complicated. It's just different. So even though I told you that I believe in your ability to handle commercial transactions, you absolutely do not want to try to do it on your own. Even if you have successfully done it in the past, I would encourage you to not do it in the future. And there's 3 reasons that I want to share with you briefly to drive this home. Number 1 is distraction. Commercial opportunities will come to you through your core business, residential real estate. And the minute that you are distracted by trying to covet and handle this commercial opportunity on your own, there will be a price to pay for that distraction. And I can tell you, sometimes it is absolutely devastating. Number 2 are the tools that we use in commercial real estate. CRE is a pay-to-play proposition. If you are relying on LoopNet or the MLS to compete and represent, you are going to get your rear handed to you. You are going to get yourself in trouble. And number 3, the big one, liability. In residential real estate, if you screw up, your exposure might be thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. In commercial real estate, the rules are much different. And to compound this, the law assumes that everybody involved in residential or in commercial real estate is an expert or has access to experts. We do not have the disclosures that you have that protect both the client and the broker. In fact, if you look at a SkySlope file for one of my deals, $30 million deal, I will have 4 or 5 boxes, whereas typically on the residential side, you will see 40 or 50 boxes on that SkySlope. And I'm going to give you an example of that liability issue. I was involved in consulting on a legal case in Los Angeles where a longtime, very successful Beverly Hills agent decided to represent one of his best clients in the leasing of a retail furniture location, literally a box to sell couches out of, seemingly an easy deal. Well, this agent objectively did not know the difference between the single net, double net, triple net, modified gross, full service lease, and every iteration in between. Well, this lease was negotiated and signed. And then the client took possession of the property only to find out that in addition to base rent, he owed $17,250 a month in triple net reimbursements. That's property tax, insurance, common area, and maintenance for 10 years. $17,250 a month for 10 years plus escalations, well over a $2 million liability. And in addition to this, unbeknownst to the client, he was responsible for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of the HVAC and roof. Those types of mistakes can be life-changing and career-ending, especially as in this case, if your ICA and your E&O insurance don't allow you or cover you to handle those transactions. And sometimes, unfortunately, you don't find out the limitations of that coverage until it is needed. So before I go on to show you what you want to do, I want you to consider my why. Why am I here? I'm here because Eva and Colby asked me to be here. I'm here to help you if you're willing to be helped. I don't have anything to sell you. I don't have a QR code with some 50% off some coaching program, although I do have a QR code here in a second. I am literally here to help you if you're willing to be helped. And what I show you to do absolutely will transform your business. Now, don't get me wrong. If we work together or you work with my team, that is great for everybody, but that is not my why. That is not why I'm here. And I suggest you think about that as you digest the rest of this content. Now, usually when I have more time and in person, I go over the 6 steps to expanding your business in commercial real estate. If you scan that QR code, it will connect you to my Popple and you will get the 6 classes. There is no cost. You don't get spam. There's no paywall. It just allows you to go through those 6 steps independently and take some time with it. It also will connect you to our weekly calls on commercial real estate if you're interested, as well as some other content. So I encourage you that, and it's very short classes, I think about 4 or 5 minutes a piece. So scan that. We'll come back to it in a minute. One of the things I like to do is give you examples of the efficacy of this strategy. And one of the first that we encountered was Tom Daves. Now, Tom Daves, if you don't know who he is, was the #1 Keller Williams agent on the planet for like 7 years in a row, been in the business for 50 years. He went through one of my classes, sat in the front row, and took copious notes as the greats do. And literally 2 days after he sat with me and went through this class, he went to a listing appointment. And for the first time in his 50-year career, again, the first time in his 50-year career, he got the listing signed and he asked this simple question: do you have any commercial real estate needs I can help you with? 50 years in the business, #1 agent in Keller Williams for 7 years on the planet. And for the first time, he asked that question. And their response was, well, Tom, actually, we're thinking about selling one of our industrial properties. Do you handle commercial real estate? To which Tom responded, absolutely, we do. My team and I do a bunch of CRE. Why don't you get me the address, and my team and I will get our thoughts together and get back to you. First time in 50 years. So within 3 or 4 weeks of that, we had that listed and sold, and Tom got a referral fee for $24,000. And as he pointed out, this is the math. He asked that question, which took less than 30 seconds. He connected us with a 3-way text, which took less than 30 seconds. And then he went to our portal and filled out the referral form, which took less than 120 seconds or 2 minutes. So that is a total investment of 180 seconds or 3 minutes. 3 minutes of work, $24,000, hourly equivalent, as Tom pointed out, $480,000 per hour. Had another case with a gal in San Antonio, Texas, never even physically met her, was on a call similar to this. She went to a lunch on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, was talking to a guy who was telling her about the problems he was having with a commercial transaction. And she said, oh my gosh, you need to call Paul Frank. He can help you. That was, I believe, $137,000 referral fee for identifying that opportunity and connecting us. So I want you to also consider this. For those of you with brokerages or teams, this is an incredible tool for agent attraction and agent retention. If you can show agents how to expand their business through commercial real estate with little effort, little distraction, they will come to you and they will not leave you. It is a differentiator, and it is unbelievably simple to open that door for your agents and your teams. One of the questions we get is, what can you refer? And I'm going to make this very simple. Anything, everywhere. Literally any product type, office, retail, multifamily, industrial, also business opportunities. So even if you have the business within the real estate, say it's a restaurant or a plumbing contractor or a dental practice, you can refer those as well. Literally anything, anywhere in the United States and beyond. We have even had referrals that have gone to Canada, Mexico, and Europe. So with that, there is that QR code again. If you scan that, it will again take you to the Popple. You will not get spammed. It will connect you to the 6 steps to expanding your business through commercial real estate. Again, we literally see this working every single day. We have, I think currently my own production is about 150 million in transactions this year. And I would say 85 to 90% of the deals that contribute to that were generated through the work we do with residential agents. We have one back in North Carolina, and I'm licensed all over the country, but a gal back in North Carolina connected us with a company that we are working on 2,500 locations for them across the United States. We have several hundred LOIs in place. That is going to generate for her several million over the next few years in referral fees. It is absolutely life-changing what can occur with that. I'm going to go back to this. Hit a stick on that one. So again, my phone number, email is there. I am easy to find, happy to help. If you have any questions, concerns, or needs in the commercial space, again, don't ask me anything about a house. Scares the hell out of me. But if you have a commercial need of any kind, feel free to reach out. So with that said,
I'm
what
sorry,
are
Paul, I
our
was gonna
questions?
jump in here.
Yep.
I haven't been watching the chat, so I don't want to jump ahead of anybody if there's anything in there. But I did want to ask you to elaborate a little bit on a conversation that we had recently. We were chatting about some commercial opportunities that I had come across, and you asked me a question about the development side versus just the the commercial investment side. I was wondering if maybe you could talk a little bit about that, because a lot of residential realtors really don't even kind of glaze over. At least I do initially. So
Yeah. One of our differentiators is our commercial development background, because that perspective really, when you are in the seat and understand, especially commercial finance. I do a class on commercial development underwriting and commercial finance. For those of you that don't understand it, the number one thing to understand if you venture into commercial, because everything that you know about finance as it relates to homes, just flush the toilet. It has, other than the what do you call it? Amortization schedule. Nothing else applies in commercial real estate, and it is the area that most even commercial agents get in trouble with. But that background that we have in development for 40 years gives us a very unique understanding and appreciation for entitlements, zoning, finance, all of the aspects. In fact, one of our trademarks is dirt to disposition. So literally from dirt to the sale of the property, we understand and have experience in all areas.
And I'm sorry, I was gonna say, do you do consultations with agents at all, or do you just say, hey, just give them my phone number and we'll take it from here?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm big on is am I still sharing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you're not.
there we go. I was wondering why the chat was over there. I'm a coach at heart, so I like to help people. It is in my DNA to a fault, as my wife will point out. And my coaching career ended because of COVID one day in Alameda County, and it just stopped. And it's sort of, interestingly enough, transferred over into the real estate space. So yeah, I enjoy helping people, and you can reach out anytime for assistance or questions. When we do these deals with residential agents, when they refer to our team, we highly encourage them to come along for the ride, because that is how they learn the vernacular and the flow of a commercial deal. I also strongly encourage them to use what I refer to as TeamSpeak, we, not me. As I tell people, anything that I've done, we've done. Anything that I do, we do. Nobody likes just being handed off. So I try to avoid that, hey, Paul can take care of you, as opposed to we can take care of you along the path. Because at the end of the day, that residential agent has a relationship with who is being referred. And if our team or I screw that up, that residential agent is going to pay the price, not me, right? So being able to stay in that communication flow is imperative. Some people are busy and don't want to, and we give them updates, but I advocate for them to stay involved and learn through the process.
Annie, you have a question?
I have a strange one. So I kind of got this idea a couple years ago when I would meet with friends or at a doctor's appointment, and I'd get in a conversation, as all of us residential real estate agents do very well, and find out, oh, they're an owner that's retiring. I go, really? I go, do you have a commercial agent, or do you have an agent that's helping you represent you? No, I don't even know what my company's worth. So I have someone in town in Phoenix that I can call, and I got someone, to help them in that scenario. So the idea, the light bulb went off that I need to be talking to every business and referring them, right? So I called my friend who owns his own business. He creates horchata, if anybody knows what horchata is. He actually kind of owns the Southwest as far as providing it.
I don't know what a chata is.
Horchata is a Mexican drink. It's milk and oatmeal and I don't know whatever else, cinnamon and
milk
it's
and
very
oatmeal.
popular. Yeah, it's very popular, and you buy it in if you go to a store that sells, or the Mexican section or the South American section, you'll see it.
I will look for it.
And it'll
Sorry.
be in Walmart. You'll be surprised.
No kidding.
But anyway, so I called him up and I said, hey, I know you're getting to a point where you may be retiring. What are you thinking? Do you need an agent to help you? And the first question out of his mouth is, I said, because I have an agent that handles businesses like yours. And he goes, is he a believer? And that was the first thing. And I'm like, okay, so he wants me to validate that. So if I gave him to you, could you make sure that happened? Because that's important to him.
Oh, yeah, we'd definitely be on the same page. That would not be a problem. Yep.
Okay. And that's a strange question, but believers are like that.
You know what? It's I don't want to say routine, but it does not surprise me. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's a family business. right? So he
Yeah.
wants to make sure it's being handled ethically and la la la.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, and why we say lead recognition and how to double your lead generation overnight. I coach and tell residential agent, because you got all these kids and people in the business that are sitting there and they're very proud of their, 100 calls a day or whatever. God bless them. That's super. I suggest with every one of those calls to past, present, future clients that not only ask them whether they want to buy or sell a house, but whether or not they have any commercial real estate needs. You just put 2 fishing poles in the water instead of 1. And if you double up and just add that question without question, it will increase your volume with very little. All you got to do is ask that one question with every one of your clients.
I also think, just to add to that thought, the statistic on this is kind of shocking. Maybe you guys have heard it before, but I think it's as high as 70% of clients forget their realtor's name after a year, and that only continues to go up as time goes on. So most realtors are serving their clients on one transaction, and then they're forgotten. And by asking questions like this and creating, positioning yourself as more of an advisor for all of their real estate needs using TeamSpeak, like we can help you not only with one residential real estate transaction, but everything that you need in real estate, you give yourself a better chance of being more memorable, more of value, and just like you get to deepen your relationship with clients in a totally new way. And it also doesn't even just have to be clients. I mean, it's such a no-brainer to ask that question when you're at a listing appointment, signing those documents. But also, if you have your local bar that you like to spend time at, like talk to the people around you that you're meeting, talk to the employees, like start to see if people are looking to expand their businesses, contract businesses. Like there's just opportunity everywhere in commercial if you just are willing to have the conversation.
Yeah, one of the concerns people have is being the dog that catches the car. Like, oh yeah, we're like Tom Daves is a perfect example. He asked that question and they say, yeah, we're looking to sell one of our industrial buildings. He flowed into that perfectly, saying, oh, my team and I do a bunch of that. Why don't you get me the address? If they start asking specific questions, which gets you in an area that you're not comfortable with, simply saying, oh, you know what? Paul handles most of the industrial on our team. I'd rather defer to him or Federico or Amber or whoever it is, and buy yourself that time, not in commercial specifically, but deferring that specialty or that product type to whoever your partner is. So it doesn't look like you aren't aware of that or you're not the expert, so to speak. You, because of TeamSpeak, handle commercial real estate with that team. So you're capable. You just have somebody in that specific product type that is better suited. One of the things I want to share with you too, that is, oh, what do you have? Vanina?
Yes. Can I ask you, you said anything, anywhere? What if
Yes.
it was Honolulu, Hawaii, or what if it was France? Who do you work with?
In Honolulu, I actually have several people on my team in Honolulu. In France, I would have to get back to you depending on the property and stuff. Federico works out of Italy as well on the international team. But if you have something, it's definitely worth giving it a shot. And we have a pretty good way of and network of vetting out and getting highly capable people if it's not something that we can handle for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. What I wanted to touch on just as a tool or a concept for you guys to take with you that can increase both your residential side as well as your commercial side. I get nervous anytime somebody calls himself an expert about anything because it's sort of indicative of them not learning anymore. But with that said, we have done a tremendous amount of 1031 exchange work over the decades, both as a developer and an owner, as well as for our clients. And one of the areas that we've seen significant success for residential agents is with clients that have single family rentals or multifamily. So single family rentals, duplex, triplex, fourplex, or multifamily. Most of them, depending upon the state, and I'm located in California, but I can tell you most of the people that have held those for a long time are not very happy with the tenant laws in this state and other states. They have over time successfully accumulated wealth and appreciation. And when we look at a 3 or 5 year running average of their returns versus the value of the property, it is usually abysmal. And what we will do is show them a pathway to sell those assets, whether it's a group of single family rentals or multifamily, and move them into long-term triple net leases, like a Chick-fil-A, for instance, long-term 25-year lease. In most cases, we will not only eliminate all of their problems, calls, legal issues, we will increase their income many times substantially. And by substantially, I'm talking 50, 60% increase in income while making the phone stop ringing with their problems as well. So that is an area where you might have people that that you're at the bar or you're at an event and they've got single family rentals and they're just sick of these issues. It opens the door for you to say, hey, have you ever thought about a 1031 exchange? Our team and I do a lot of that work. And then we just assess the situation, which can all of a sudden result in you selling a bunch of houses and then participating on the referral side for the replacement property. And one real quick example of that, I had this gal, Sharon, that was brought into me. Her agent heard me speak on this and she said, hey, can I bring Sharon in? She's, her and her husband had a bunch of residential rentals. He passed away like 15 or 20 years ago. And she said these things are just killing her. So they came to my office and presented a roster. And this poor lady was just beat up physically and mentally from this stuff. She had about 10 million in single family rentals with no debt on them, did everything right. And she was basically break even on this pool of assets over a 3-5 year running average because of all the repairs and evictions and nonsense going on. It was awful. We sold half of those houses, 5 million, and moved it into a 5 cap a Chick-fil-A deal in Nashville, Tennessee, and turned that break even into 250,000 a year net income after all expenses with no obligations. So again, virtually a break even pool of assets turned it into $250,000 a year of coupon clipper income for her. Absolutely life-changing for that lady. Any questions on that? That's it. Usable takeaway, low-hanging fruit for you guys to keep your eyes open and look for those opportunities. The number one misconception is, if you know anything about exchanges, is like kind. We have CPAs and attorneys that misconstrue this all the time. In fact, in the last 5 years, we've had 3 E&O claims against CPAs that just objectively screwed up the exchange for their client. One of them was, I think, $750,000 that were the damages on it. But like kind is just investment property for investment property. So many times they're advised, well, I got this apartment building and I got to go buy an apartment building. That is not the case. It can be vacant land, it can be single family rentals, it could be retail, it can be anything that you can exchange for investment property. What other questions?
This whole topic, it's such a simple takeaway for residential agents to just integrate this one small sentence into their conversations. And so I hope people who took time out of their day to attend this found this valuable and really seriously decide to integrate that into the conversations that you're having, because it could totally be life-changing.
Yeah. Yeah. These referral fees that we see going out to people, it's the funnest thing. Because again, I'm a coach at heart. So seeing people actually implement and then get, 5-6 figure checks because of a simple question, it's very cool.
Yeah, and not to mention, like I said, like I was kind of saying before, not only are you starting to position yourself as a 360 advisor and you're going to make yourself more memorable to your clients because you're serving them not just in their residential needs, but their commercial needs, but think about how that's going to also turn into that client referring you to their friends because you've now served them in a way that is memorable, and they're going to think of you for all deals. And the reality is people might only buy one house ever in their life, but they might engage in tons of commercial deals if they're business minded and that's the type of business that they're in. So there's just a lot of opportunity to stay top of mind with these clients.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guarantee you, like I said, everybody doesn't have a W-2 job. There's people that you have all dealt with that have their own law practice or their own plumbing company or have their own restaurants or whatever their trade is, that have commercial needs. It's not just investments, but also their actual business. If they have a law firm and they're looking to expand into a larger space or buy an office building, all of that is fair game for you guys.
There are a couple of questions in the
Yeah.
chat. So before we bounce off, I just want to see if we can hit on those. One, which was actually something I wanted to clarify myself. How many agents do you have on your team? And are you present in every state?
Yes, present in every state. I'm licensed in like a dozen states or so with some more that are pending. And I think there's I think 60 or 70 on my team.
And then there's a question about Spanish speaking commercial agents anywhere.
Yes, we was that relative to Spain, or I thought I saw just Spanish commercial agents.
Just Spanish commercial agents. Who asked that question? Do you want to elaborate?
You're on mute, so if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Lorgia? I hope I didn't destroy that name.
I don't know if she hears us.
Oh, there she is. Oh, muted again. Yeah, the answer is yes. We have the ability to communicate in Spanish for sure.
Okay, great. And I guess the other is just a comment that they found this. Kelly said it was fascinating, and she's learned a lot in 1 hour of time. Thank you, Paul. That's
absolutely
kind of nice one to end on.
Yeah. And so as always, we record these calls and we post them to our YouTube. So if you want to listen back, it will be available. We'll send it out to everyone. If you want to share this with members of your team, so you can also help them leverage this in their business, I think that would be a great idea. Our next call, which is going to be the last of Q3, is on Monday, September 22nd. I'm dropping the RSVP link in the chat. And we're going to be talking with Tammy Woodbury, who is an expert in running first-time home buyer webinars. She gets like 40 prospective clients on these webinars where she's helping potential buyers understand what to expect ahead of diving into the process and then nurturing those relationships and converting it into, clients and closed business. So definitely check that out if that's interesting to you. And I'm going to really quickly also drop the link to our Facebook group. For those of you who on this call who are EXP agents, obviously Workplace has shut down, Meta, discontinued the product. We've moved to Slack. We have chosen to move a group to Facebook because it's a little bit easier to update you guys there than it is on Slack. So we hope that you join us there. This is not just for EXP agents. I'm just pointing it out to EXP agents because Workplace is gone now, but everyone's welcome to join this group. We've got agents from all different companies in here. We will always drop the RSVP links and the reminders for these calls in there. And you can also use it as, like say you have a referral for another state, whether it's commercial or not. I mean, we hope you pick up the phone and call people like Paul, but you can also post in this group and ask people to point you in the right direction. So, and Annie, to answer your question, the next Mastermind is on Monday, September 22nd.
If I can jump in here for 2 seconds. First of all, September 22nd is Dylan's birthday, so I'll just mention that. Also, there's a question in here about referral fees. Does it work similar to it does like in residential? Is there a standard referral fee?
I answered Larry on that. I do 25% across the board. Number one, if you poll 1,000 residential agents, 900 and something are going to have something not nice to say about commercial agents because for some reason they are taught that residential agents are beneath them and not worthy of returning their phone calls. But the reality is, if I refer a deal, like I referred a deal, 2 houses to Scottsdale, ready, willing, and able buyers at like $4 and $5 million, they're going to close those. Is that where you are, Ann?
Yes.
You're going to close that without question. On the commercial side, sometimes we work for years. We got people that want 40, 50,000 foot warehouses and the product just doesn't exist. So, at the same time, I don't agree with those that, do 10% referral fees. The value of that connection and that ability to prosecute that transaction is worth it to me for sure.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up, one other thing about our Facebook page, besides referrals, if anybody is traveling to an area for the first time or is just looking for recommendations for restaurants, theater, things to do, we are in New York and Colby's in LA, and we are happy to provide that kind of information. When Colby went off to college in California, the first place she lived was with another agent, because I had reached out on one of our Facebook pages and said, hey, my daughter's moving. Can anybody give us some info? So I think it would be a fabulous place to kind of expand out to personal things as well. And you're welcome to do that on our site.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Paul. Such a valuable, simple lesson learned here. Excited to see who closes some commercial referrals as a result of this call.
And actually,
Absolutely.
Paul, I owe you some info. I'm going to work on it today on the 2 things we talked about. And Andre, I'll bring you up to speed on that because you know a little bit about what I'm talking about.
All right. And if you're in
Thank you, everybody.
You're in New York. Check out
Great seeing you all. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.